Delishees, grab a plate and taste the delicious culture. I'm your host, Jon Francois.
And I am Zainab and the Blue Wave.
Zainab and the Blue Wave. Wait, is this in reference to last night's elections?
Alhamdulillah. Zohra Mamdani won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amen.
And I am very happy about that. And so we're just going to give praise to Allah for that. And then also Zainab is my favorite person from Love is Blind. So
Zainab, wait, what season? Was Zainab from this recent season?
no, she's in season 4.
Okay.
And she gives one of the most epic reads at the altar. So that's why I love her.
Oh my God. Wait, refresh my memory, because Toni, did you and I watch season 4?
Yeah, the only season we didn't watch was season 1, I think, or 2.
Mm-hmm.
What was the read that Zainab provided that you liked?
Zainab and Cole make it to the altar. And at the altar, she tells him, "You have made me feel like shit this entire experiment, and I'm going to break it down why." And it is just so good to see.
Oh, that is definitely worth a rewatch. Oh my God. Well, as you can tell, listener and viewer, we are talking about the Netflix reality show Love is Blind, season 9 specifically, with our special guest. Not only my lovely wife, Toni Rushlow, returning. She's awkwardly downstairs in the living room while I'm upstairs in the office because of audio issues from the last time she was on with us for the Project Runway recap. So thank you, Toni, for your patience with that. But also zooming in from our home state of Connecticut, my sister Nathalie joining us. Hi, Nathalie.
Hi.
Yeah, so season 9 of Love is Blind. We got to get into it. Briefest of explanations in case you don't know what it is. I don't know. My therapist didn't know what it was, and I had to break it down. It was like, oh, there's this social experiment. It's men and women. They try to converse with each other, sight unseen, and get engaged before they even meet with each other in person for the first time. Like, you got to get into it. There's 9 seasons worth of awesomeness. I guess, what are we giving this out of 10 before we dive into each of the engaged couples? Because I mean, there was some drama that got me into it, but I feel like based on the way the wedding episode ended and certainly the way the reunion episode ended, I'm gonna give it maybe a 6 out of 10. What are you guys giving it?
I'm going to start with the 10 out of 10.
Oh.
This was messy. I love this season. There are some things we got to talk about because Netflix, I feel like this is no longer about getting married.
Absolutely not. I agree. I agree with that. I agree with that. I think for me, if we're scaling drama, yeah, 10 out of 10. Actually, no, not even. I'd probably do a 9.
All right.
I'd probably do a 9, only because I'm catching up to the recent Love is Blind. Not Love is Blind, Love Island. I'm so late with that. And that is drama, that's 10 out of 10 drama for me right now. But in terms of how the show is, the concept of the show and actually getting the point done, I would say probably a 3. What was that?
Oh, okay. It's not that great of a rating. Yeah, I know. I totally agree on that. Toni?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go with a pretty low, maybe a 5.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't meet the requirements of the show. I mean, I feel like a lot of people are not on the show to get married anymore. It's kind of how many social media followers can I gain from this?
Yeah.
I agree.
Clout seems to be the priority this time around. But all right, let's start with Anton and Ali, because I just feel like we should just do the 6 engaged couples, and some worked, some didn't. Or maybe arguably all of them didn't work if we're talking about the end goal of the show. But Anton and Ali, your thoughts on that? I mean, first of all, what do we think about Anton with glasses, Anton without glasses? It seems like he was trying to figure that out for himself. Nathalie, you're our special guest. I'll start off with you, because Anton, he seemed to be fine with his glasses in the pods, and then when it came up to meeting Ali for the first time, he was just like, oh nope, I'm gonna slip these over the top of my head and I'm gonna squint at my fiance as I'm talking to her face to face for the first time.
I think he was trying to match Allie's fire. She is a gorgeous girl.
Yeah.
Duh. And I don't think that I don't know if he was expecting that, but I feel I'm sure there's pressure there, But in terms of Anton and Ali, I didn't like Anton at first. And I remember I told you And I told Toni that I just felt like that was like a red flag because it felt like he was just agreeing with everything she said. Like he was just like, "Oh, I did that too. That I can relate to that too. Like I was there too. Like they both worked at McDonald's." And it was like, I know, like, like, a lot of people worked at McDonald's, and I know you guys are both, like, you're coming from other countries, but, like, I don't think your experiences mirror each other that much. I just feel like whenever somebody does that, where they're like, "Oh my god, that's so crazy. Me too," and they're not giving the story first, they're just, like, agreeing with the story they get, I feel like that's
Mm.
such a red flag, and clearly his story was filled with a bunch of debauchery that Allie didn't relate to. So I felt like he was a red flag in the
Mm.
pods. I didn't like how quickly they got together. I was like, eh.
I feel like, well, one, the glasses thing, it gave me like dad with like readers vibe. Like he was like, I gotta
Oh.
put these on. Oh, stuff's closed now. I felt like, cause he even had like an indent in his hair from like how often he clearly like put them up there. His hair is like trained to hold
I
them.
didn't even notice that.
Um,
Yeah.
but them as a couple, I don't know that his agreeing was nefarious per se, but almost more like he just doesn't have much of a personality or input of his own. So it was just like, oh yeah, I can agree with that. And it was kind of left at that. Like, Allie mentioned, like afterwards she felt like he was a completely different person outside of the pods. And I mean, that makes sense because if you don't have that input of the prompts and everything and the stuff that they're probably being given to start off conversations, he's not going to have that. And he can't, outside of the pods, continue to just agree with her without her being like, all right, where the heck is the rest of your personality that I thought was there?
He lacks substance.
He
I
does not.
agree with that.
He is not a real person. I knew from the moment they were gonna meet, he took off his glasses. I'm like, you're not gonna show your fiance you wear glasses.
John said the
Red
same
flag.
thing.
Yeah.
It's a huge red flag. It's like you went to see her and you were blind, literally. That doesn't make sense. Like
Yeah,
I
my
knew they were not gonna last. There was when they moved in together, and for dinner, he makes steak and eggs, and Allie's sitting at the table, and she is questioning having a mimosa because she didn't know he drank at nighttime. All these different things. I'm like, you didn't share these very important tendencies you have with your partner.
What did you guys think of Allie's concern over Anton's drinking, his partying? I guess he frequently goes to strip clubs as well. Look, the drinking I kind of got because there was that scene in the apartment where Anton just casually admitted that he had like a case of beer and tequila, like all within a short amount of time from the fridge. So I get Allie's concern on that front. The strip club and partying in front of it, I don't know. I'm kind of wondering what you guys think about that because look, I mean, in terms of going to a strip club, open, if it's an open marriage situation, sure, like do what you will. With a monogamous marriage situation, I feel like that could work while also having a respectable marriage. But at the same time, I can see, Allie being uncomfortable with that because it's scantily clad women, however you want to define it in the strip club. Uh, Partying, I mean, if we're talking about partying in a broader sense, like, all right, okay, should Anton be partying every night as he's trying to evolve this relationship with this woman, and especially if they want to have kids? I mean, yes, that's questionable. Partying every now and then, not the biggest deal in the world. I guess I just wanted to get the room's thoughts on those concerns of Allie and whether they were like valid or invalid. Starting with you, Natalie.
Well, I feel like strip clubs, they're not the problem. If you are into going to strip clubs, like just be upfront about it. There's nothing wrong with that. Like they're there for a reason. There's an audience for them. And like people are making a living off of that. And like there shouldn't be this like idea that that is something to be ashamed of. However, if you are somebody that like feels like that is something that can threaten your relationship, like I do think that that is also important, So like it really is down to the person. I also just feel like, wow, that guy's girlfriend, I forget Anton's friend's name, But what was the intention behind doing all of that? Like, that was crazy. It was like she was trying to expose Anton, and
Yeah.
it was kinda just like, "What are you doing, girl?" As somebody that's been here for 3 months allegedly, like, it's like, what is the intention? But anyway, I do think that, like, it's not a problem if you are upfront about it and if you can, like, still maintain your responsibilities. I also feel like it probably was, like, communicated in a way that made it seem like he has a problem when it's like,
Yeah.
it probably isn't a problematic thing. It was just something that was said in a way to clearly, like, just kind of attack Anton. So, I really look at that girl, like, I forget her name, but, like, I wish I knew her name. I'm like, "Why did you do that?" Like, what was the point? Did you wanna, like, be on the like, on the screen and, like, be
Yes,
a part of the drama?
100%.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I thought that was weird.
I definitely think that she just wanted to be on the show. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, sure, her and the guy had been together for a couple of months or whatever. A little weird to me that you would bring a new girlfriend to that unless she begged you and was like, "Hey, you need to bring me onto this because I want to be on TV." And then she's like, "All right, let me elicit some drama here, get the response to, make sure that this airs." Because, obviously there are other like scenes and meetings and stuff that we don't see because they can't fit everything in. But if you drop a bombshell like that, you're going to make sure that you get on TV.
They were definitely mic'd up
Yeah. Yeah. In the bathroom at that. They
in the
made sure
bathroom.
they focused on the bathrooms. They had the cameras in the bathroom with them.
Yeah,
Yeah. Hush hush on the down low. Restaurant bathroom conversation. Yeah.
yeah.
Agent.
Exactly.
I cannot stand that girl. I really hope that she gets like on something and then we find out just all of her intentions.
Mhm.
Because I feel like she'll be on next season and they'll be like, oh my God, we brought her back.
Yes.
And it was definitely meant to her, Anton. I don't like the fact that it's a lot of couples on this show. None of them set the expectation of what they find respectful and disrespectful in a marriage. They just
Yes.
all like kind of agree with each other. Everybody seems so like passive about it. And I'm like, none of
Yeah,
you are here with intention. And that's why we're at this point.
Oh boy.
right.
Anybody surprised that Allie ended up saying no to Anton at the altar? I mean, maybe I'm naive. Maybe I didn't see anything, but I thought they were the only solid couple that had a good chance of being a yes. But I guess those concerns of Allie were big enough where she just couldn't commit to it at the last minute.
No, and his reaction to her need for Botox was enough for her. Like, she was like, "I need my Botox."
Yeah.
And he was like, "You're high maintenance."
Did not think it was going to be a yes. And I stopped thinking it was going to be a yes after episode, I think 8, because there's this noticeable change in how she looks at him, how she stands next to him. When they went to the little country mixer and were doing the line dancing, you could see her purposely avoiding him and going to talk with everybody else there. And I was like, they're not going
Oh.
to make it.
What?
The only reason I expected a potential yes was because it felt like there was a lot of cultural pressure
Yeah.
on each of them. So that's the only reason I wouldn't have been surprised if there was a yes, because they both clearly were like, we need to find a spouse. Our family is pressuring us. Our culture is pressuring us. So I would have seen a yes because of that, not because there was an actual genuine connection. And I mean, clearly she was a no from the beginning because she got the ick from his toes, as was shown.
Yeah. And she added.
God, that last shot at the reunion where we got to see Anton wiggle his toes. What a sight to
Yeah.
see. Oh my God. All right, let's move on to Madison and Joe. Okay. All right. So first of all, I was kind of uncomfortable because I know Joe was making comments about Madison's physical appearance, talking about like, oh, this is not typically what I would go for in the real world. And then you contrast that with them talking about how like great and hot the sex is. So there's that. And then there was that drunk fiasco night that Joe had. I guess he had a little bit too much to drink. He was having himself a good time. Him and Brendan, or not Brendan, Jordan. I think him and Jordan were, drinking a little bit too much and having a good time. Madison felt that she was not being paid attention to. She wasn't liking it. And then Joe was just saying some drunk gobbledygook at their apartment later that night. Madison was taking offense. All I was thinking of was he's drunk. There's nothing you can get out of him that's going to be a great conversation. And then, along the way, I mean, it seems like you really see Joe's commitment phobia, and he just kind of ends it with Madison, I think, the night before they were supposed to get married. So thoughts on Joe and Madison? Anybody, if whether someone's more guilty than the other, and Natalie, we'll start with you.
I was gonna say, like, I think that first of all, watching that was just so painful.
Yeah.
Like, it was so painful to watch the two of them, and I feel like they should have ended it earlier. Because it
Oh, yeah.
was like Madison was like grasping at straws. And honestly, she reminded me of Hannah from like, I forget, I think it was like season 7 or season 6.
Okay.
She had like a Hannah vibe to her where it was like she wanted so badly to have this relationship and she wanted to control it, but like clearly Joe was just not like they're not compatible. So
Yeah.
I did love seeing their families interact, so I thought that was very wholesome. And I feel like, I don't know. It was really painful. And Joe was so frustrating. Joe could not stand any heat. Like he's like terrible at conflict resolution. And when he was drunk, I was genuinely concerned. I was like, is he drunk? Is there more to it? Because like, wow, he's like completely gone when she's trying to talk to him. So I was just kind of like, where is this going with Joe? And is this going to delve into like a substance problem thing, or is he going to get it together? And I'm glad that he did. Like it wasn't something that kind of later devolved into like something more serious. But yeah, the two of them, it was just really hard to watch.
Yeah, I definitely feel like she was so hard trying to force things, even though I feel like if she would have just, literally looked in front of her, it wasn't gonna work. I feel like from the beginning it should have been obvious. Um and they make, like you said, the comment about the best sex ever. I feel like every single one of them says that because they feel like they have to. Because
Yeah.
it's like so many of the couples that say that. And it's like, are you just saying that because you're on TV? Like, I just have a hard time believing that every single season, every single one of these couples is like, oh my God, nothing's ever been better than this. And it's like, that's not reality. That's probably you and the TV, reality TV world where everything else is deprived from you and you just have no other stimulation in your life right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely the drunk scene was super concerning. Like, if he didn't take anything else, how much did he actually drink? Because he apparently had gone to sleep and then woken up and was still that out of it.
Yeah.
That's pretty concerning. Um, yeah, I don't know. I feel like he is one of those people where if she had been somehow matched with a better person, she could have been successful in this show. But I don't know. I just don't know why Joe came on the show. He he had the previous fiance who, as they're sending out invitations, that he bails on, and then her, and then he dated 2 other cast members like directly afterwards and had already broken things up with one of them, and then was dating another. So I don't know. He clearly needs to get his shit together and go see a therapist.
He's not ready. He's not ready for commitment. Like he's absolutely just like, and he should have just admitted that to himself before. He was like literally pooing himself like most episodes over the whole point of the show, which is to get married. And it's like, Joe, have you been here? Like, have you watched the show?
When they
AJ?
have their argument in the kitchen and he's like, you're not upset that this is crazy? And she's like, I've been saying that this entire time, that this is a weird experience. And I'm like, is he mad at her because she doesn't express her emotions the same way as him? Like, I was like, I hope you do not marry this man, because she looked like she was like, I'll take whatever. I just want to get to the altar. And I'm like, please don't do this.
Don't settle. Don't settle. Don't settle for the guy that's
He
going to
lucked
that.
out on not getting that mustache.
Yeah.
Look, I thought the mustache was fine at the reunion. I think he wore that sort of old timey Western mustache look very well.
Kidding.
I mean, I did kind of get confused by his like relationship trajectory because he was with Madison and then he was with Casey shortly thereafter, and then I think he's currently with a girlfriend named Avery. Like, is that the whole timeline of Joe
Yeah.
commitment
Yeah.
phobia going around all these girls and whatnot?
Yeah. He's all over the place, just like his
Yeah.
facial hair.
Just like his facial hair. Yeah. Yeah. No, I think the moment Joe went in for the tux fitting and then you saw him just literally have a panic attack right in front of the camera and then just leave. And then all the other guys are just like, wait, where the hell is Joe? Like, that was a good indication of like, oh, this guy may not see it through to the end. So
He's losing it.
yeah. All right, our favorite stable couple, Edmond and KB. Let's move on to them because so much to say about them. I mean, okay, first of all, what did you guys think about Edmond's manic energy coming into the pods, just the pods? Because at first I was like, okay, here's a guy with loud fashion. Here's a guy kissing the floor. Here's a guy with this sort of happy, very robust, childlike energy. He's entertaining me. He's jumping up and down, dancing around when he meets KB in person for the first time. And then it just gets worse. But as far as like Edmond in the pods at first, did you guys have maybe a different thought than the Edmond that we later got to see, Natalie?
Yeah, so Edmond, I don't like to, like, I love quirkiness in people. Like, I just feel like that's so refreshing. Don't be like everybody. Don't feel the pressure to be like everybody else.
Yeah.
So quirky people, absolutely. And that's what I was feeling when I was watching Edmond initially. But honestly, as the show continued, I was like, Netflix, did you screen? Did
Where
you
are the mental
screen
health
people?
We need mental health screenings.
And I mean that so lovingly. Like, I just feel like, wow, Edmond went through an emotional roller coaster, and so did I, watching him go through that. Like, and it was just like, I don't know. So to start, it just felt like, oh, this is a refreshing character. I feel like when the emotion, I think like KB mentioned in the reunion, we got to see. So like, I think some of his like body language was like, we as the viewer were cued into like, oh, this guy is like out there. And like, clearly KB is like this cool, calm, collected boss. So it's just, you're wondering how it's going to go. Then they get together, and I honestly, like, I'm right there with KB feeling like he was manipulative. And that's unfortunate because, like, it's not a good light for him. His story is so, like, powerful. And, like, I just feel like that is not the platform to be experiencing all these strong, intense emotions, like, coming from that kind of a background. Like, I felt for Edmond, but yikes.
I mean, that night when Edmond was emotionally manipulating KB to have sex with him before marriage, he clearly could have been like, okay, I respect that decision, but what did he do? Oh my god, but I love you so much. Like, it was bizarre to put it simply. But
Startling.
yeah,
Very
Toni.
startling.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna play like lay psychiatrist here and throw my diagnosis out there. But with like the clearly troubled past of his childhood and like the emotional extremes in both directions and no like real neutral ground, he was kind of giving me borderline personality vibe. Just like seriously unable to and not only control his emotions but recognize the severity of his reactions to things. He just seemed completely oblivious, and I don't think that he was necessarily faking that obliviousness. I really think he was oblivious to the fact that his reactions were as severe as they were and like the things he was saying. I think he really didn't comprehend the inappropriateness of some of that. KB though, loved her. Feel like she was very genuine and just like down to earth. And, obviously, as she admitted multiple times, she had her own issues to deal with, but she seemed to be in touch with that and willing to learn and grow. I don't know. She just felt genuine, and I feel like she meant it when she felt like she learned from the experience. Yeah.
Yeah. She was super patient, like
Yes.
the most patient human to have ever been born.
How did they make it that far?
I don't know.
From like her persistence. Like, oh my goodness.
If it wasn't for her patience, we would not have gotten all of this in the season because I don't know too many people that would not have punched that man in the face and walked away.
Yes.
Like, great that there's so many things that upset me about Edmond. And when I first saw him, I was like, great. I love that you have this energy. You're very interesting. The moment he started crying in the room talking to KB, I was like, KB, run.
Yeah,
This is somebody who is not ready for this.
Right.
And I'm with you, Netflix. What kind of screening are we doing for people before they come on the show?
Yeah, I totally agree. So needless to say, thank God KB said no at the altar. It seemed like she was kind of like, all right, like me and Edmond are kind of coming to peace and talking it out like moments before the big day, but she decided that she wasn't ready. Look, they had Edmond and KB have their kumbaya moment at their reunion, but I wasn't satisfied because I felt like it was more of what we got during the relationship, which is like, all right, here's KB saying, Edmond, this is what you're at fault at. This is what hurts me. And also, I'll take accountability to the fact that I could be kinder sometimes, even though I totally disagree. I think KB was fine. And Edmond on his end was he seemed just more so, okay, thank you. And it's been a great experience with you. And if there were repeated offenses of what you're saying I did, then we would have a problem, but there isn't. So that's, I just, the show made it seem like at the reunion, they had their thing resolved by the end of their conversation, but I didn't feel satisfied. I didn't feel like Edmond was fully held accountable for his actions. And I don't know if you guys want to chime in on that, if you disagree or agree.
I agree. I think that like Edmond is allergic to accountability. He's not even allergic. He just he avoids it. He's scared of it. He's terrified.
He's never it.
Yeah, he will not take responsibility for his actions, for like the things that he does, the things that he says that really affect other people, especially KB. And like, God bless that woman. She breaks things down for Edmond in a way that
She has the receipts.
cannot confuse. Like, she's like, it's clear that she reflects and she really cares about like making sure that she is not just like reading him wrong and projecting maybe her own stuff onto him. Like, it's she whipped out a piece of paper from her booby pocket, So it's like, she came ready. She was really thinking about this, and it's really important for her to put her best foot forward. Here comes Edmond, though, who can't just sit there and hear somebody say that like they're mad at him and then just apologize without having to explain like, oh, well, I'm not going to say sorry for something I feel like that's just very juvenile. That's just very juvenile.
Yeah.
I agree with you so much, Jon, because wedding episode, the setup of who was there for Edmond already let me know that there were some major red flags that we had not talked about at all. When his fifth grade teacher showed up, I'm like, hang on. There's nobody, no other family. Something ain't making sense here.
Yeah.
Then after that, at the reunion, I don't even think KB left satisfied because I watched an interview with her and AD from the show. And I'm like, oh my God, KB, I'm sorry you had to experience this. And she even said it herself. She's like, as a social worker, she thought she could help and maybe change something for him. And that's why she was so patient. But then at the reunion, when I think Nick had the last word, Nick Lachey, with her, and you can just see on her face, she's like, whatever, just get me out of here. Because he's not even present. Like, he didn't even know what he did. And that's the thing that concerns me. I'm like, you didn't know all this shit happened, Edmond, and it's been on television?
Yeah. So clearly there's not a lot that fifth grade teacher knows about him beyond the sweet little kid that she teached all those years ago.
I think we're all in a agreement that KB, a genuine, sincere person who clearly her communication skills are on point, and Edmond just needs to do some serious personal reflection and work to not only for anyone around him, but even for himself. Because, I mean, clearly, he's not fulfilled. He's not making those connections. Like AJ said, nobody was there. That says something. That shows, he talked about a lot about his rollerblading community and all
Yep.
of that. And that's, that says something that you haven't made those connections at that point in your life to be able to even have someone on an acquaintance level to invite to your wedding.
Yeah.
You know
Raising-
what he reminds me of? He feels like somebody that wouldn't go to the doctor because it's like too like complicated, like figuring out how to get like your health insurance. Like he seems like that. So I would be so curious to know what his actual personal life is, because like I love that he has a community, but like, do you pay your bills on time, Edmond?
Yeah.
Good question. Okay. Megan and Jordan, speaking of all things money, because I feel like that was a thing that kind of was a big theme in Megan and Jordan's relationship. Well, first of all, I mean, the whole Sparkle Megan thing, I loved it. It's great. It just rings in my head. Wear the sparkly clothes all day long. Wonderful. Megan asking Jordan in the pods if he had a few tattoos, and Jordan was like, "Oh, yeah, I have a couple," but of course his whole body is covered with tattoos. What did you guys think about the differences in Megan and Jordan's lifestyle, their financial differences, how that may have caused tension in the relationship? Like, I'm thinking of that episode where Megan was touring this very like upscale, sleek, rich home, and Jordan was like, "Oh, okay. How much is this really necessary?" And then, of course, Jordan is a single dad. He has Luca. He has this. He has these long hours that he works at his job. So Megan loves to travel. That's great. But Jordan is understandably like, I got a kid. I got a job that I work a lot of hours for. I can't just be traveling around the world on all willy nilly. So thoughts on the lifestyle and financial differences and whether that was explored enough, because I got the feeling that maybe Megan didn't completely know what she was in.
When Megan said you can't go to brunch at 10 a.m. and did not understand that, I knew. I was like, oh, she's my favorite type of person.
Yeah. It sounds great. But I guess from Jordan's point of view, it's just like, I might be sleeping or working then.
I mean, she's like, work, is that really a thing that we have to do? Is it just an
Right.
option? And I love her, but it was like, okay, this is what happens when somebody who has too much free time on their hands gets on a reality show.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so unrealistic. Like their lifestyles are so different. And great for Megan. Like I definitely saw her as like, wow, okay, Megan, like boss. Love that for you. Um, but yeah, like if you're I can only imagine that's really hard to date if you're not in that same tax bracket. Like I didn't even think of the fact that like she has like all of this expendable time. And like Jordan has a child and he works, like most people. So it was just interesting. Like, but I rooted for them. I did.
I thought they were going to,
Yeah.
I thought they had a good chance of I thought, 50-50. I thought I could see it being a yes, but I could also see it being a no to them at the altar. What did you guys think of like Megan being frustrated that Jordan just didn't have much to offer in a conversational sense? Say at the end of the day, Jordan's coming from a long work day. He's tired. I kind of felt mixed about that because I was like, all right, well, when you're coming from a long work day and you're seeing your partner day after day, yeah, you're going to have moments where you just don't want to talk. At the same time, especially, in these early days when they're getting to know each other, I do understand Megan's value of like, hey, let's find quality time to get to know each other, to have a conversation, even if it's as little as how was your day, like just something. So what did you guys think of that moment in the season? Toni?
I feel like that might have just been like amplified by her, like we talked about, having all that free time. So he probably did have things to say and did have input, but she probably was looking for more stimulation, more than just what you get in a regular, everyday, day-to-day sort of situation. Um, I think that if they were closer money-wise, things could have worked for them. I think that would have been very different. But it comes back to, like, are these people not talking about this stuff at length in the pods? Like,
Mhm.
that is super important. Like, what does your weekly schedule look like? Do you have a set schedule at work? Do you have certain, free time that you have? What do you do with your free time? And, they make the comment at the weddings always about, oh, you didn't take into account looks, age, or finances. I'm sorry, what the hell do you mean you're thinking of getting married and you haven't taken finances into account? That's pretty damn important.
Honestly.
I'm trying to think of a moment where they were actually on the same page outside of the scripted stuff in the pods, and I can't think of one. I mean, first of all, he's a daddy. I just have to say that. So if you ever see this, I love your tattoos because he's hot.
Yeah.
But I didn't understand how neither of them really seemed to be listening to each other when it came to what they do. Like, even just discussing a day in Megan's life and a day in Jordan's life. It's like once they got to the wedding, they get to the wedding, the day before or the day of the wedding when they had their conversation, it's like neither of them recognize the fact that you are not compatible when it comes to your time or your money, and nobody has addressed that. And now we're getting to the moment where you're going to have to share your lives, and both of you seem confused on that.
With that whole situation with him being quiet at the end of the day, I just think like, it is, like Tony said, like with the time, Megan has so much time to literally just pour into herself.
Yeah.
And it sounds like with Jordan's job, they didn't really get into that, but like it sounds like Jordan's job is like super draining and he's pouring into other people. And then like he has a son and he pours into that. And like Megan is like wanting to just continue to pour into herself by having these like beautiful moments at the end of the night without acknowledging that like this is a person that has to work very hard, like, and she has worked hard, not discrediting whatever hard work she's done, but like right now in this moment, like he is drained, and I just felt like that wasn't fair, to expect that because he gives off the type of vibe of like he is always on. He wants to be like the person that makes people laugh. He wants to be the person that makes people happy. So like that is draining if you're doing that constantly, if you're always on. So yeah, I just felt bad for him for that.
Yeah, for some reason I got trucker like from him. It's like when it really became clear that he has a job where he's working long hours, it just trucker came to mind. I could be totally off on that,
I
but
felt like it was like maybe he's like a corrections officer. I don't know. Like it felt
yeah,
like he does like really hard work with like humans, and we know like humans can be so frustrating. So it's like he comes back and he's so like drained, and then he has a son who is like a child and needs him. Like that's what
mhm.
it felt like. I don't know what his job is, but
Oh my God, can we talk, because me and Tony were like, what in the hell is Megan doing? When Megan was like, oh my, because I think she said, because my dad had this type of diabetes and Luca also has this type of diabetes. That is a sign. That means that
Yeah.
Jordan and I were meant to be together. What was that?
what a stretch.
Yes.
She kept mentioning it and getting emotional about it, talking about it, I think with Jordan's family or whatever. And I think even Jordan's family were just like, yeah, I think it means something. And I'm like,
No.
It's a
not making a
coincidence.
we're not making a meant to be love story out of diabetes, guys. Let's be real here. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
but that got her. Honestly, she wants to be a mom, and she recently just like lost her father, and she's still in that grief cycle,
Yeah.
like, and she will be for a while. So like this probably did feel like a sign because it did bring up all of these very intense emotions. But if you pan out, it's like it makes sense. Megan, you lost your dad. And so things that remind you of your dad are going to make you sad and make you feel intense things. That's not a sign and that's not a reason. And I hope that she's not going, no, because no, she's not married, but she does have a baby daddy.
Yeah, she got a
She
baby
is-
daddy real quick.
Yeah. She got the
Yeah.
baby super quick. And so, yeah. I hope she's not going out into the dating world. I don't know if they're together because I'm not going to assume, but like, I hope she's not going out into the dating world using like diabetes as like a compass. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. No. Speaking about that, so it seems like a boyfriend girlfriend relationship with her current partner, and they had a child. So this was all established at the reunion. I think 3 months into dating, Megan got pregnant. I just wanted to see what everybody's thoughts were on that, because quite a contrast. Because we saw Megan throughout the season as like this adventurous single woman, just looking for just a good adventure, a good time. And all of a sudden she's like, oh wow, like I'm a mom and I'm in this relationship with this guy. It just happens in quick succession, and I wonder if it's just this genuine transformation that Megan had, or maybe it's kind of like that high school reunion theory where she wanted to come into this Love is Blind reunion with something to show that shows that her life is just fantastic post Jordan. You know what I mean?
Think that she met somebody who was rich and has time on his hands, because that
Oh.
man has money. When I saw him, I was like, oh, he's got money. I would get pregnant too immediately.
No, you know what
Mhm.
Jon said? He said he looks like he owns a Fortune 500 company.
Yeah.
Very
Bald head,
subtly.
yeah. Yeah, he just had that Lex Luthor vibe with the bald head and the suit and everything like that. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
this guy has money. This guy has money. Were
Yeah.
you guys surprised that Megan broke it off with Jordan the night before the wedding? Did you expect them to at least make it to the altar?
It was 50-50. I really liked them together. I just felt like I just like that dynamic. It's like a reverse Cinderella story where it's like, and we're all gonna come together. Jordan's got such a great personality. He's like meant
Yeah.
for TV. And I just loved like seeing them together. Like it felt like she was actually being challenged. Honestly, I think like with Megan, even with getting pregnant, I think that she is just one, she's a very ambitious woman, but two, I think she's also like kind of bored with life right now. And like she
Yeah.
really wants to get to like another stage so that she can like stimulate herself. Cause like I imagine having all this free time and having the money to be able to do things isn't always satisfying. And that's why she went to go look for like a relationship like this. And I feel like that's why she got married very quickly. But yeah, like I wanted them to be together, just thought they were so cute, and I agree, AJ, like, he is a daddy, he is so cute. He's like, in a suit, very cute.
They were probably my two favorite people. And I was just hoping at some point Megan would be like, okay, I understand that life for you is different. And I'm with you. Like, I feel like she just needed a new mountain to climb, because she's just bored. She just seems like, I'm just here. There's nothing to really do. So let's make something happen.
I agree. And that's
Yeah.
a perfect place to be a mom, like, when you have all this time. Go
Oh
for it.
yeah. Yeah. No, I feel like I'm not surprised that they didn't make it, because I think they finally realized what the rest of us saw. Um but again, just two good people. Like I don't think there was anything like bad or toxic about either of them, and that it just wasn't a good pair. Like it'd be great if they stayed friends. Like I think they could make like great friends. And I mean, with the baby thing and this, she's clearly looking for fulfillment that she's just not getting from the rest of her life, because, like you guys said, she's got so much time and she's probably just bored with it, and she's just struggling to find that probably.
Nick and Annie. Well, first of all, I remember in the pods they had a very close-minded, unkind conversation about what it would be
Very
like.
bigoted conversation, you
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, about what it would be like if they had a queer child. So from that point on, I was just like,
Yeah, that was
I'm
a
not,
no for me from then on.
I don't care about your.
I
All I remember from them is that Nick was all in, but Annie just seemed to have this sort of insecure, doubtful thing. I mean, she was drunk one night and she just kept repeating over and over, like, I don't know, like I'm in, but are you all in? And Nick just kept saying he's all in. That's the theme of their relationship, is that Nick is all in, but Annie just kept not quite being sure that he's all in. I could be wrong on that assessment, but any thoughts on that, or any other further thoughts on Nick and Annie, starting with you, Natalie?
was gonna say that was such a terrifying argument, or whatever that was. Was that an argument? I don't even know what to call it. Like, it was a weird exchange of words, and Annie almost came off like she was looking at him like, I know something. I know you know what I know. And I was just like, Annie, you're looking a little crazy. You're looking a little scary. I didn't like that. I felt like she got to a point in the experiment where it was getting toxic, because Nick is something else, like he's like, wow. Him in the pods was really frustrating to watch. Like, he was giving big red flags. The way that he ended things with Kate, that was insane. And like, yeah, so like, unfortunately, like in those moments, like in that argument between the two of them, Nick looked healthier, but overall, I just feel like his whole vibe and like the lack of like authenticity really got to Annie. Like, and she was going crazy in front of our eyes.
Okay.
Yeah.
AJ, Tony?
I'm trying to think how to put it into words because she confused the shit out of me. And then he irritated me to death.
Oh.
Like, I don't even know if there's like, I feel like this is going to be studied and like 3 years from now, it's going to come out in like some science journal or some shit where you have one person who doesn't know how to be genuine and then you have another person who is just toxic. And that's what kind of like meshed in front of our eyes. I'm so happy that they did not make it far. To anybody who does listen to this, if you are not prepared to have a gay child, you are not prepared to have children.
Period.
Like, that is just one of the weirdest fucking things I've ever seen in my life. And I'm very happy that they were gone. Even at the reunion, you can tell that he doesn't fully grasp that he's a terrible person. And he tried to essentially gaslight the entire cast and audience that we did not see what we saw on television.
Yeah, I think the other partner that Nick was with was alleging that like he led her on, made her seem like she was the number one, and Nick was like, that was not my intention. I'm sorry. So I don't.
We watched it. He was like, I love you. Oh my gosh. And it's like, dude, when I watched him, he gave like sociopath, like his whole demeanor. It's like his eyes are just not, they don't have a sparkle, like they're lacking a spark.
I just don't think either of them are good people.
Okay.
Honestly, I feel like they should have ended up together because, at least that would save other people in the future who may fall for any of their, tricks or anything like that. I just, from the moment that they had that conversation in the pods about if, just the fact that it even was brought up in the way that it was, like, I totally get it if it's like one of the people being like saying it as like one of those questions, like, okay, do I need to write this person off if they give me a real shitty answer to this? But it wasn't asked in that way. It was asked in the way of like clearly that they felt negatively about the situation and they were hoping that the other person was on the same page. And then we get the whole conversation about it and like the finer details from their view. Like Nathalie mentioned, we don't need to see that from the network's perspective. Like, take that out. That is not a piece that we needed for the show. Although again, it did just continue to build on the fact of who they are as people. And I just, he's also so unattractive. Like, just not an attractive person whatsoever.
Okay. Those eyes, that gelled hair, those calculating eyes. Didn't do
Oh
it
my
for you.
gosh. And what did he call himself? Zach Efron?
Johnny Bravo. He was
or
trying
Johnny
to
Bravo. Oh
Johnny
my gosh.
Bravo.
I was like, please stop. That was so scary. Did you guys think that it was staged, his cabin? Because I was like, this feels like you paid money to have people like organize this so that you look like a jack of all trades, but also like a good Christian boy. It was
or like
so
he just
weird.
rented an Airbnb for
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, this is my cabin.
Yeah.
I'm like, I doubt you're that good at many things, Nick, because you're not even good at convincing me that you're a decent person.
He's
I
the
feel
perfect
like
mountain man.
everything about him, yes, John, I agree, is he's fake and it's weird to see because he wants to be so genuine and it's like, none of this is real, is it?
Lastly, we go to Casey and Patrick. So Patrick and Anna were each other's number ones. They bonded very well. I know part of it was because they were both Asian, so they were bonding based on that experience. And then Annie left the experiment. Patrick moves on to his number two, Casey, lies and says, you've been my number one all along, because of course Patrick just wants to have this sort of emotional wall up and not feel like he was rejected by Anna. And then I know there was a conversation, kind of a tense conversation, where Patrick revealed to Casey that he was Asian. Tony, I remember you saying that, like, oh, this kind of defeats the point of the experiment. You felt like that was
Yeah,
cheating, correct?
because he did it with Casey, and like it seemed like she had to drag it out of him. But
Yeah.
then he did the same thing with Anna. Like clearly he was so stuck on his own identity that was just overtaking everything. Like the whole point of being on the show is you don't know what the other person looks like. And like, yes, obviously just, a very generalized, like knowing that they're Asian doesn't give you a full picture of what they look like, but that gives you more info than you have of anybody else to have all kinds of preconceived notions about what they look like, how they act, all of, the internalized things that we have from society. So it just didn't seem fair.
I agree. I definitely did not like, and I didn't like the fact that it was clear that he was uncomfortable with sharing it, because he was definitely not trying to like break the rules, but also I think he did want to like keep that to himself. Because it's clearly like a sore spot for him. Even though he was like, I've gotten this far and like I'm confident in my, like ethnicity, it didn't come off like he was, because like in the same breath, he was like, but I'm like every other Coloradan. I like fish and I hunt. And it's like, okay, this isn't like a competition. Like it's okay, like to embrace the things that your culture, is known for, but also like you don't have to like prove to people that you're worthy because you also hunt and fish and do all the things that the Colorado boys do. So that was like, it was really sad to see, because it's clear that it's an insecurity. I didn't like the fact that he shared it with Casey, because immediately I was like, oh, she cares, and that's why she's asking.
Yep.
So don't tell her. Don't tell her anything, because she's gonna make a, like, I don't know what she, because like we saw how it ended, but like I was like, I don't know, in her mind if she thought he was like a member of BTS or something, like, but like she completely decided like what type of image and like went with that. And then when she got the reality, it was really heartbreaking, like, and so classless the way that she handled that.
Natalie, I agree with you 100%. I didn't really care for Casey. There was just something about her. I was just like, I'm not for you, girl. And Patrick, the entire time, I wanted to hold him and just say, it's okay. I get it's a sore spot for you, but you are a great person. And you need to recognize that for yourself, that you're this amazing. And someone will gravitate you who loves that. And that's what I wanted for him. I just really feel like he could have been a standout person in the show. But I feel like his interactions and then his response and then how he had internalized this about himself really just messed him up throughout the show.
I know that, when Patrick told Casey that he was Asian, I did see Casey thinking about it for a moment. It seemed like, oh, this might go the wrong way. She did seemingly accept it. And then before you know it, they get engaged. And then I think they don't even spend a full night together before Casey is just kind of like crying to the cameras, crying to Patrick, saying that she can't do it anymore. There's clearly a miscommunication when Patrick and Casey are trying to talk it out. Like Casey is trying to say, I don't want to do this anymore. And Patrick's like, okay, cool. We don't have to do this in front of the cameras. We'll just leave the cameras and then we'll just go on a private vacation together. It'll be great. So thoughts on how that quick breakup unfolded, Casey's motives, if any, for breaking up with Patrick that quickly. I'm curious about that, because it did seem suspect to me. Natalie.
Yeah, it was I hated that. It wasn't even like a day later. It sounded like it was hours later. Like it was within that same day that she actually saw him, which makes it like so obvious. Like it just makes it so obvious that like you immediately, like, love is not blind for you, Casey. So I don't even know why they got you on this show. So that was one. It felt really weird seeing her like try to play the victim about it, because it's like, are you kidding me? Like, you're not the victim, Casey. You're literally telling this man you don't want to marry him because you found out like what he looks like after like all of this, like, oh, I love you. And their banter in the pods, like, oh, some of it was so cringy. I don't know. I feel like Casey is another person like Joe, which is like maybe that's why they got together, who's not ready for commitment. Like, she's totally somebody that I feel like wants to get the clout. You know, she wanted to go in there and she totally wanted to be seen as like this really hot blonde that like people are like when they see her, when the doors open up, they're like, oh my God, you know? And it was very obvious. I felt bad for Patrick because like I do think that he went into there like wanting to find a relationship and it just came off like maybe out in public in the real world, like he really, really struggles with that insecurity. And like this is his chance to maybe like not have to worry about that. But yeah, like what a train wreck.
That cringy talk, I know what you're talking about. I think they were doing a lot of dirty talk. And
Yeah.
me and Toni were watching that and we're just like, what does this add to the show?
Yeah.
It was weird. It was kind of icky.
All of a sudden, and it was like, is Patrick giving consent to this?
Yes.
Because like,
Yes.
doesn't seem like he is.
It seems so uncomfortable just to see the two of them together. I am so happy that what played out, production didn't really seem to step in at all. And I'm like, thank you, because I feel like they would have tried to like make it cozy and rosy for Casey, and people would have actually believed that she was a victim of some sort. Casey is what happened to the real world in season 4. At season 4 of the real world, everyone was like, oh, I need to have one-liners. I'm here to get like my YouTube followers up. And that's what she was. She was not there for love. And it's just like, girl, if you wanted to just be famous, just hop on something and become famous. Don't come here and say you want to be married.
Yeah. She was the one that wanted to break it up with Patrick, but then I think she wanted to keep the ring at the same time. And then there was this whole thing at the reunion about like, oh, you know, Patrick is like, Casey, give me my ring back. Just apologize and give me the ring back. So eventually she does, but then, you know, they blow up what should have been a serious moment and make it into this basketball game with Chris Paul, and then I guess Casey gets the ring back. It didn't make any fucking sense to me. But I'm sorry, Toni, I don't think you had a chance to expand on your thoughts about that.
No, I was just going to say that I don't think we should really be all that surprised that it didn't work out with them, and that as soon as she saw him, she like backed out of it, because she is also the one who pulled the thing in the pods where when he made, you know, he told her that he was Asian. She made the comment about how one of her brothers was married to a person of color. Like there was a couple, like it was very much that, well, you know, I have black friends.
Yeah. It's exactly. She did that. I have black friends.
Yeah.
I'm not racist.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. And so it's like the fact that she just like pulled that out there, it just should have been like the thing right there where we're like, okay, that's where this is going to go.
Yeah.
I just have to say my favorite moment in the reunion, I think it was Allie who said it, that the rings belong to Netflix.
Yes!
Why does anybody care?
That was a revelation.
Honestly.
Yeah.
It's like a good point. Good point. Good
Yes.
point. I don't think everybody's thinking about how, like, yeah, the rings do belong to Netflix. So why is Patrick? He's just like, it's his ego. It's just
Yeah.
an ego thing.
I am surprised that Netflix doesn't ask for the rings back from the couples who don't get married.
They maybe behind the scenes and we don't hear about it.
Well, then why did all of this happen?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess you have a good point. Now, what do we think about the reunion overall? I mean, like I've seen better reunions. Probably my favorite one. Toni knows this. The what was it? The Ultimatum Queer Love reunion from season 1. That was just packed to the nines with drama, and I was all for it. Yeah, what do we think about this reunion, just in terms of how it was produced? Did you guys get the entertainment, juicy drama factor that you were looking for? They had this fall Halloween aesthetic outside. I think this was like the first reunion outdoors. But yeah, they had all these fall Halloweenish colors. Having this musician perform a happy song and then watching like all the contestants come down and they just had their stone faces like they were coached.
As they're trying not to fall down the steps.
Right, yeah, at the same time, yeah. They're trying not to fall down the steps. They're clearly being coached from producers behind the scenes on having a stone face so they could be ready to give drama. And then again, that basketball game with Chris Paul to win the ring back, that really belongs to Netflix. It was just an hour of Love is Blind really trying to freshen things up when they really didn't need to. I just felt like, no, you guys have had a formula with the reunions that seems to have worked in the past, so just stick with it. But I don't know. Any thoughts on the different reunion format that we got this season?
I loved it.
Oh,
I didn't like it at all.
It was just the set. The set I loved. I was
Great.
like, oh, this is cute.
Yeah.
The actual reunion, I could have passed on the entire thing. I watched half of it on mute.
Yeah.
Because you could.
The set was good though. It was good.
Yeah. It's beautiful. And it looked like they spent a lot of money, but like I didn't like how they just kind of tried to soften the drama and lighten it up. It's like, no, we want blood. I want like people to tell people off because like there was a lot of really like disrespectful behavior. I
Yeah.
felt that should
Yeah,
have
there
been
was
called out.
a lot of like, okay, you can apologize now. All right, let's let this be. And it was like, but why? This is reality TV.
Yeah, I agree.
If you like the Queer Love, the Ultimatum reunion, why didn't they just stick with that great format? Give me
Ugh.
4 peoples in chairs and call it Springer, and I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely.
Natalie, have you seen the Ultimatum Queer Love?
Yeah.
Season 1 at least?
I did. And I saw the reunion. I agree. Like, that's the format to take. That is how reunions have been since the dawn of time of like what, the 2010s when reunions were
Yeah.
coming up.
Yeah.
Like, it's for the viewers. And like, yes, the cast, unfortunately, they have to be there. They're there to get shot at by like all of these different kinds of questions. It is like a bloodbath, but they do get compensated for the show. Yeah, like they get compensated for the reunion, and I do think like the viewers deserve to hear like the in-betweens and to get like what happened. I didn't even realize that they spend like such a long period of time after filming just like in the world. Like I want more. I felt like Calabria did not get justice.
Yes.
Justice for Calabria.
They know what they're signing up for. Like you're
Mhm.
signing up for reality TV. You're gonna be exposing things you don't want to expose. That's all part of it.
And it's already going to be vile on the web anyway. So
Yeah.
like might as well make an announcement to the public like we want to be respectful. We don't like we don't advocate for bullying. We reject that, but also let's get to the tea,
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like they did not address all the things that needed to be addressed. Netflix, you did not address the rumors that you're not feeding these people, that they're not allowed to leave set. Like, a lot went unanswered. And on the Tales of Love Island and what we got on that, you really need to explain yourself. So I hope we get a reunion for the reunion.
That's a meta experience that I'm in for. Let's close out with this question because I'm wondering if the Love is Blind experiment is sustainable / even work anymore, because just this season we saw the likes of Blake and Annie leave during the pods phase. Casey and Patrick didn't even make it one full night before they were quits. We had three couples break up shortly before wedding day. Yeah, Joe and Megan, Nick and Annie, Megan and Jordan, they all didn't make it to the altar. And the two couples who actually made it to the altar, Allie and Anton, KB and Edmond, both were a no. I mean, part of the reason why I felt underwhelmed by this season was nobody got married. There was no positive sign of like, yeah, love can't be blind. This does work. So after a season like this, I just wonder what does the season 10 look like? Do we make it even more cynical? Do we make it just like, oh, everybody's in love and it's positive and everybody gets married? Like, because this was a different season. So thoughts on that?
Bruce? I think that like when it comes to like the season, it's very clear that the intention is to get as much drama as possible. Like it's not even about like the actual point of the show, the formula that they were following before. And I think it's reflective of like where we're at societally, like what is actually bringing money in terms of entertainment on social media, on other networks and stuff like that. So I think Netflix is just trying to get Netflix coin, and so they're gonna keep doing the things that like produce like these viral moments and like get the conversation going. And toxicity is what makes money. So I fear that they're just going to keep going, you know?
I feel like we're watching the Stanford prison experiment on television now. Like
Okay.
the first season of Love is Blind, I felt like, okay, this is genuine. Like people are here because they want to do this. They want to find love. And now there's this weird energy. And I challenge anybody to watch anything that's like this, where people are kept in a very isolated and secluded place. And then all of this reality is forced on them. And you just see this energy change that happens now. Like it doesn't seem like anybody's really there for some kind of genuine connection. Everybody's worried about how they're going to be perceived by the public. So they're like, okay, I don't want people to jump on me for this online, but I have this emotion that I'm not going to express, whether it's toxic or not. And I feel like we're no longer getting real people. Everybody comes in with this defined character. And then when that character doesn't make it through to the end of the show, we see the cracks in the drama, but we don't see the reality that created this person.
I mean, clearly the vetting has gone from, all right, is this a person actually here to find love? Are they, in the right place for this? Because I mean, the beginning seasons, people did get married. Many of those people are still together in, solid relationships many years later. Um, and now again, it's who is going to bring the most drama, who is going to, be able to get the most social media followers from this. If they fall in love or fake reality love at the same time, great. But we've got our established fan base now, and we may lose some of them doing this, but we're still going to keep those ones in who are just here for the drama factor.
All right. Well, these are wonderful closing thoughts. Love is Blind season 10. I can't wait to see what they do. I'm thinking, 3-4 months from now we might get it.
Yeah. They come out with them like crazy. It's so insane. Like, what? They probably already have their cast.
They didn't even preview the season. Usually in the reunion, they give us like a little sneak peek of the next season. We didn't get any of that. So who the hell knows?
Toes.
We got what?
Toes.
Season 10, Wiggly Toes from Anton. Yeah. Well, this was a great conversation. Nathalie, Toni, thank you so much for joining us. This was so fun. For those of you listening, please consume the Delicious Culture wherever you get your podcasts. Apple, Spotify, iHeart, Amazon, SiriusXM, wherever you get your podcasts. Please, if you like us, leave us a 5-star rating on Spotify, leave a review on Apple Podcasts. You can email us at thedeliciousculture@gmail.com. That is thedeliciousculture@gmail.com. We are on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok at The Delicious Culture. You can find full video episodes on YouTube if you love to see us. Follow me on TikTok. I'm at Jon.Francois, the number 1. And Nathalie, you were kind enough to have some great conversation with us. What would you like to promote?
I would like to promote kindness. Everybody be nice.
Yeah.
There's enough crazy nastiness in the world. So like just care for people. Also, because SNAP benefits aren't happening, definitely purchase your non-perishables and drop them off at a food pantry near you. We need to like really get it together as like a species, because like yikes. This is scary. But thank you for having me. This was so fun. It was so fun to do this. I hope to come again.
Absolutely. And sorry, really quickly before I go to you, Toni. Yes, let me to bounce off of the SNAP benefits conversation. Non-perishable donations, monthly donation to your local food bank. I set up a monthly donation to my food bank here in Vermont. So please, whatever you can do, because there are lots of people out there that need help. They should not be put in this situation, but they are. So whatever you can do, those listening and viewing to help, that would be awesome.
Oh, wait, also, just before we move on, it's Men's Mental Health Awareness. Hug a guy with consent.
Oh, yes. Yes, there are some guys in power that could benefit from a hug. That maybe we wouldn't be in this situation if they had a hug. Toni, what about you? What would you like to promote?
Oh, geez. To go off of making sure we're supporting those in our community, you can also donate cat and dog food to your local food shelf, because a lot of people, if they have to choose between feeding themselves and feeding their pets, they will feed their pets first. So if you can make that decision a little bit easier for them, super important right now.
AJ?
I feel like There's so many things to talk about political.
I know.
So I'm with y'all. If you know anybody who needs prescription assistance, make sure that you refer them to their local area um, health association. Right now, a lot of local and statewide health associations are providing prescription assistance. If you're nervous about what's going to happen with your premium starting on January 1st, there are some assistance programs. One of them is through GlaxoSmithKline that will help people with just their premium of their health insurance. The government shutdown is happening, but please do not lose faith. There was a blue wave that happened, and we have to talk about it. State elections are important, and I hope that people will see that your vote does matter. It matters a whole lot because a lot of things can continue to change as we go through this. On the other side of that, fuck every person in government that's slowing this process down. We all need to work together, and if you can't get your shit together, get out. But aside from that, just follow me on TikTok. You
I
can find me at
agree.
AJ Vanderton. That's it.
I agree. I feel like we kind of like eschewed personal benefit social media stuff in favor of like community service. I love it. It's
We
so
gotta
great.
talk about it. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Like people matter. Like we all matter. So
Yeah, I agree. I agree. On that note, AJ, you want to sign us off by letting some deliciousness ring?
You know what? A little deliciousness that we can let ring is the fact that in New York, out of 50 million votes, only 177,000 went to a Republican.
Thank you, New York.